Hello, Jeff Roltgen, the Tax CPA here. Today we're going to talk about how IRS collection works. Let's look at an overview. Here's the process from the 30,000-foot view. First, the return's filed, and then from that return, and sometimes the return is actually filed, quote unquote, by the IRS using what they call a substitute for return. But the return is filed, the tax is assessed on that return, and then that begins the notices or the demands for payment. Once they say you owe this much tax, they're going to ask for it. One thing to keep in mind is that there's a statutory lien is going to be created from this debt. It's written into the federal laws that a lien just happens. The IRS doesn't really have to do anything. But what the next step where they do something is they will file a notice of federal tax lien with the county from your most recent address. Now, generally, they only do this for amounts owed above $10,000, but I have seen them file a notice of federal tax lien for smaller amounts. But that's the next step. And that's where you kind of get the feeling like you have a lien because that's where they make it public. The next step is that they will give you a final notice. And this one's where it starts to get a little bit more intense and a little bit more time sensitive because you have 30 days from that final notice to request an appeal. And after that 30-day period, then the IRS will begin taking your money either through levies or garnishment, levies on your bank account or garnishments on your wages or other sources of income. So what's critical to resolving your debt is you have to understand that the IRS needs tax compliance. They need you to contact them or communicate with them. And then in order for them to stop actively going after your money, you need to propose a resolution where you're going to take care of this matter. So let's go over those three things in a little more detail. Tax compliance means basically you're providing forms and money so that you're current. So the forms are going to want you to file any missing tax returns, and generally you only need to go back for the last 6 years. For payments, if you're a W-2 employee, they want your withholding. They want to see withholding that's sufficient to cover your annual liability. If you're self-employed, you need to be up to date and current on your estimated tax payments. And for a business, you need to have your payroll tax deposits current. You need to be up to date on those and showing that you're paying those timely. What you don't want to do at this point yet, when you're still in the tax compliance phase, is you don't want to begin sending in money on the old debt. This may be where you end up, but you don't want to do that yet. Now, talking to the IRS, call them. Every notice you'll receive will have a number to contact the IRS to get you through the quickest, which is a relative concept, but to get you through to the right department. Then you're going to want to get any missing returns filed. You're going to get current on your payments. And then when you're talking to them, this is where you need to make a proposal on how to resolve the debt. And this goes a long way toward them ceasing the active collection efforts. Now, what are your alternatives? And these would be alternatives to full paying. You can always just pay the tax, but if that's not an option, your alternatives are to request to be placed into currently not collectible status, which means you simply cannot pay right now. Your second alternative is to do an offer in compromise, where you offer to settle the debt for less than the amount that's owed. And that's basically based on you proving to the IRS that this is all I have. I'll give you everything I have. This is all I have. I can't pay the entire thing. And then the third resolution is to do an installment agreement and to begin making payments. The types of installments agreements generally are a regular, a streamlined, and a partial pay installment agreement. So this is a quick overview of how collections works. If you need any help with an IRS issue, get in touch with me. Let me help you out. There's my phone number, there's listed. You've got my email address and my website. Thank you and have a good day.